not hard to fool me.
No.
'Cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say.
No.
Where we are heading now, babe. I follow. To the edge of it all. To the edge of it all. So tell your good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. Ooh. So tell your good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one. Ooh. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. It's not a problem.
No.
'Cause I know what I'm getting into.
Yes.
Yeah. And nothing can stop me.
No.
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow. To the edge of it all. So tell your good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one. Yeah. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies. Before it flies. So tell your good night. 'Cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible.
What's up, guys? I'm Rob, and I'm the vet of the group.
Hey, this is Murph, and I'm still the maintenance man. And Shay,
I'm Shay, and I'm the. I was gonna wonder who was gonna make the Shay voice today. I wasn't sure if you were gonna do it or I was gonna do it. So
I was just doing the Bueller thing.
yeah, that's all right,
Bueller.
Shay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Shay.
That works.
Shay.
Shay is not
Yo.
here today, guys. Shay is not here, unfortunately, but we have 4 other women who will join us today. But before that, thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussions about the hottest topics in weight loss with, of course, the coolest people in the bariatric community. I'm Rob. This is Murph. Shay's not here, but we got you guys. So grab a chair, wind down from your busy day, and take a seat at the table. Murph's favorite question. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, doing good, man. Just excited to be here. I never know what to say. Like, even when I try to practice, I don't good. I'm good. I just got to go
I'm
good. And then, I
Oh, sorry.
what
I was
is
giving-
that?
I was
Oh,
giving
boy.
you the cheering you on with sound effects.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna play a quick game, and then no, I'm just kidding.
Now that Shay's
no.
not here, let's play a game.
Yeah, I'm
But-
bummed. I'm really honestly bummed that Shay's not here. But it happens. But yeah, I mean, no excuses. But
Yeah. Show must go on.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and go ahead and introduce us to
Yes.
these amazing triathlon ladies that you've been talking about, hyping us up.
Yeah, I've been talking about
Yeah.
these ladies for a long time. So, for anyone who does not know, I am from Ontario, Canada, and I am part of a bariatric fitness group, and this is on Facebook, and it is essentially filled with a whole bunch of like-minded people where fitness is a big part of their journey, and they're very, very passionate about it. You've met one of these members previously when Erin was on. Again,
Mhm.
Erin is a nurse, grandmother, and badass bodybuilder and
Mhm.
sorry, power lifter. And yeah,
Powerlifter.
she was on, and these ladies are no exception. So I
Yeah.
know that it was a bit after I did my triathlon last year with Corinne, who is also part of the group, and Carrie. Oh my God, everyone's part of the group.
Yeah.
One of the members, Brittany, actually brought it up and mentioned this triathlon in Muskoka, which is up north for us. And sort of everyone came out of the woodwork to be like, well, if you're doing it, we're going to do it. Oh, well, let's do it. And you know, by the time you knew it, we had a whole bunch of people who were either going to do it or going to come and cheer our group on. And so amazing camaraderie, amazing feats by these amazing ladies. So let's bring them on. So I will bring on, we got Anne, we got Candis, we got Brittany, and we got Amanda. How are you guys?
We're good. Good. Very
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. Look at you
Hey.
guys. Bariatric
Welcome.
fitness extraordinaires, triathletes, and now podcast guests. Amazing.
Cool.
That is awesome. How are you guys tonight?
Good.
I'm
We're
not good.
Yeah, everyone's
Good.
good?
How are you guys?
We're all right. I see some nerves going on here. I see some nerves overall. Do not worry. We are very kind. Murph does not. Oh, see, he's breathing practices.
Yeah.
And all.
Practice breathing. Shay's not here, so you know.
Yeah.
This should be. No, I'm just messing.
It should be a better show
it's
now
nice
that
to meet
Shay's
you
not
all.
here.
No, that's not what I was saying.
That's what I
at
was
all.
saying. She can hear it. She's
Okay,
going to
that's
watch
what
the
Rob's
replay
saying.
and be like, whoa, what are you talking about? But so we have 4 of you amazing ladies. We only have a limited amount of time. So let's get into it. Can you guys please tell us a bit about yourselves? So who you are, where the triathlon has come in, when you had surgery, what type of surgery you had. So tell us a bit about your journey. I'm going to start on my screen on the right. So let's go, Anne.
Oh, anyway, first off, thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be here. It's pretty cool to be on this podcast because I've been watching you from the beginning. And Murph, I just want to say that I feel like I know you personally because I watch your Instagram and love everything that you post. So privileged to be here.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm going to be 3 years post-op come September. I had the Roux-en-Y surgery. I'm maintaining about 100 to 130 pound weight loss, give or take. And yeah, so my journey has been, I was kind of always overweight and struggled with my weight ever since I was a teen. However, in my 20s, I started enjoying fitness and I started doing cycling and running and weightlifting. I was never a competitive person, so I was never into sports, but just like to do things for myself. But I just felt like my weight continued to be a barrier. And as my weight crept up and up and up, all of those things started to fall off to the wayside. So I chose to have bariatric surgery. I wasn't active. I was sleeping after work on the couch while my husband prepared meals for the family. I wasn't, active, and I have teen boys. So I finally made the decision to have surgery, and it has been an amazing journey so far. And I'm just so happy to be part of this group and have connected with everybody in the bariatric fitness world as well. So my journey to the triathlon has been, well, Brittany, I will have to say, hats off to her. She wanted to celebrate her birthday in an amazing way, and she put this out to the group. I had started running probably about 6 months again after surgery and just continued on doing that. I've done about 7 half marathons and a couple distances that are a little bit longer. And so when Brittany suggested the triathlon, I was on board and wanted to expand my fitness journey. And then I reached out to Rob, who connected me with an amazing bike and a fitter. So I'm able to get on my bike and feel really comfortable on it. And then it was just kind of training. I threw in swimming. I got a membership at the Y. Started practicing lane swim because swimming was not something that I had ever really done before other than when I was a kid and went in the lake kind of thing. So that was probably my biggest challenge of all the 3 disciplines.
Yeah.
Was the swimming for sure. Still not comfortable with it. Love my bike, love my running, but the swim is definitely a challenge. only gotten
I see
out-
everyone nodding. Yep. Yeah.
Everybody can relate. I'd only gotten out in the lake probably once before actually doing the triathlon. So all went well considering, but yeah. And so my training kind of consisted of running 3 times a week, biking 2 or 3 times a week, and then swimming once or twice. And then I would throw in the brick workout. So doing 2 of the disciplines kind of back to back.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of my experience with it.
Thanks so
Very
much,
cool.
Amanda.
Yeah, I connected with all of you guys through our bariatric fitness page, and a triathlon was never something I would have ever considered. And I know Brittany started kind of like, hey, who wants to do this? And I was like, sure, why not? I did the try first, but I did also just do the sprint distance triathlon this past Sunday. So I now have completed 2 triathlons and I'm hooked. I'm looking for more to do coming up. But I had my surgery last June, so I'm just over a year and 2 months post-op. I'm down 127 pounds and
Nice.
kind of sticking around that. I always loved fitness before, but I had 2 metabolic disorders that caused obesity. And then I was forced to have a hysterectomy 2.5 years ago. And within 3 months of my hysterectomy, I gained 50 pounds. And then I couldn't lose it no matter what I ate, no matter what I did. And my doctor had suggested bypass surgery to me when my son was 3 and he's now 9. So I went back to him. I was like, okay, I think it's time. So I shattered my leg 19 years ago and I have a metal rod in it, and my doctors told me I'd never run. So the heavier I was, the harder the pain was in my leg. And taking all that weight off, I'm regularly running, 5K multiple times a week, 7Ks on the weekend. And I'm able to maintain a run, and it's just been life-changing, like everything about it. And then trying the triathlon, and yeah, the swimming's definitely the worst part. But I was really, really proud to have completed it. And I love that you guys put the challenge out and was like, hey, let's do this. So it got me to take another step outside my comfort zone. So it was great.
And
That's
the thing
awesome.
I enjoy about you the most, Amanda, is because I remember you were so hesitant when we started having this discussion. We're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a try, and all the questions, and there's so much apprehension about it. And then like you have another one right after this one that you guys did in TriMuskoka. So I love seeing you sort of grow with all that, and it's understandable with your history that you just shared with us. But it's amazing to see what you have done in such a short period of time, like 1 year, just a bit more than 1 year. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Brittany.
All right.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, as you know, I'm Brittany. I had RNY 10 years ago. July 17th is my surgery date. I've been endurance racing for quite some time, probably since 2015. And most of that is like long distance running. I particularly like to run for many hours. So like 8 hours or 12-hour challenges are my super favorite things.
Yeah.
But last year I fell at a race and I severely injured my leg. And I wasn't able to carry on running long distance, unfortunately. Not for the time being, anyway. Hopefully soon. So I was like, what am I going to do for my birthday this year? Because every year on my birthday, I run one of these crazy long distance runs. And I couldn't. So I was like, what can I do that could possibly still be pretty awesome? And that was my solution, was to train for a triathlon. Like the rest of everybody, or not everybody, because I know Amanda previously swam, but I didn't know how to swim before December. I had to sign up for private lessons and lane swim until it was warm enough to get in the lake. I signed up to my local tri club and hung out with them a little bit. And that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. And like I was gonna point that out because there's so many I know people, and again, not even bariatric patients are just like, oh, you know what, I don't swim. I would do it, but I don't swim. There are ways to address that, and if you're committed enough and you want to do it, you'll do it. And Brittany, you are a perfect example of all that. Also, I just want to point out for our American viewers and for Murph, 5K is 3.10 miles, my friend, just so you know. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
that's a barrier we have on this show. But
We
we'll continue going with
talking
Candis.
5K. We talking
Yeah.
5K and 10K here in the States as well. So
Oh,
I know
okay.
what that is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank
good
you
for
though.
you. All right. And
Appreciate it.
Candis.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really, I'm pretty excited. Actually, it's pretty cool. So I'm 53, and I had my surgery. It was 2 years ago, July 7th. And I had no ambitions of doing a triathlon ever. I'm not athletic, although I do work out. I enjoy it. I'm just not really good at anything. Like I don't have a strong suit. So when it came up in the group about doing a triathlon, I was actually recovering from plastic surgery. I had my tummy tuck and a few other things done. And I was kind of thinking, okay, I got to get back at something in January. What am I going to do? What's going to be my goal? I have to have something to strive for to push my commitment. So this came up and I was like, I'm not one to question. I'm one to kind of just jump in and think about it after. So I was like, yeah, me, I'll do it. So I got in the pool in January and I swam one lap and thought I was going to die. Because it's so hard. The breathing aspect is really difficult. So I stopped a guy in the pool and I was like, how do you do this? And he's like, just keep doing it. And I was like, okay. Because I'm not a strong swimmer. So I just went at it and kind of looked online at some training plans and kind of winged it really in that sense. Like I didn't have a coach or anything, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm really glad that you and Nikki and, our spouses and that, whoever else came were there the day of, because my nerves were through the roof.
Yep.
And I almost backed out.
Oh, really?
It's like I was terrified. I saw that swim, and doing it in the pool is one thing.
Yes.
But getting in the water and swimming it is a completely different thing altogether. And it was very intimidating. I'm really, really glad I didn't quit though.
Yeah. Oh, you guys all killed it. I honestly, I was watching it the whole time. And it was really cool that we were able to walk the river with you guys. So I know we were trying to find everyone. We're like, okay, who's there? And we're trying to walk with you guys or just cheer you guys on. And so you never, because it's the swimming portion can feel very lonely. Right. And so, and for me, the part that makes swimming so hard, yes, we're not used to that. And, the breathing part is a big part of it, but it's all mental, I find, because even though it's the shortest time wise, it feels the longest because there's nothing for you to do but to think, I find, and listen to your breathing. Whereas if I'm running, I can pay attention to everything and be fine. If I'm biking, I can pay attention to everything. I was jealous that you guys got to ride that course because I would have loved to have ridden in that area up those hills. But in your swimming, it's like I see darkness, I see water, depending on. So it is hard in that sense. But you guys all killed it. You guys did so well. I'm glad. And it's funny because I saw a lot of the nerves, right? Beforehand, everyone was sort of going through their own thing, but once you guys got out there, it's just like you've committed, you've done it, right? So I'm proud of you guys for everything that you guys have done, for sure.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, Mark's got a question.
I didn't, but I mean I can.
Okay.
So like, all right. So like I've never done a triathlon. The only thing I've ever done was a warrior dash, which is a Tough Mudder sort of thing, and I think it's just a 5K. but
3.
like, yes, thank you. And so I don't know. The last time we talked about triathlons on here was with Corinne and
Carrie.
Carrie. Thank you. And you guys like almost had me sold.
Yeah.
Like
Very close.
like I'm thinking, okay, this might be something that I want to do, and then I don't know. I just like I can't bring myself to do it. You were talking about like the swimming aspect of things. I think I'm a solid swimmer. I've always been a solid swimmer. Biking, yeah. Running, not so much. I don't think I have the stamina built up. What is your guys's now? You've all agreed, I think, that swimming was like the hardest part. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Swimming was
Yep.
probably the most difficult part.
Yes.
So
I
what's
wouldn't
the
agree with the run, to be honest, because you can walk run. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You have to run the whole thing, and most people who do triathlons will put that in as part of their strategy. You know.
Mm.
And I think, Murph, if you're concerned about the running, then if you're going to train for a triathlon, then focus more on the running aspect. If you feel like you are stronger in the swim, then make sure you do that, but maybe less frequently as building your endurance for the running. And if you're comfortable on the bike, make sure you do that. But again, I think that was my thing, because I knew I was less confident in the swim. I did try to make a point to train for that a little bit more. I knew that I had I didn't know that I had biking under my belt, but I'm new to it this season as well. But the running, I wasn't worried about it. I'm a runner. So you kind of just focus on the areas that are of most concern to you. And then if you try and do a couple of those brickworks where you're doing the back-to-back, you're good. Mm-hmm. And start with a try, right? Where the distances are shorter, and get your feet wet and comfortable with that.
Well, and
so
Rob,
what are the distances of the one that you guys did? Sorry, Amanda, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
But what are the distances? Maybe Amanda, you can answer this, and then
So the distance for the sprint was 850 meter swim, 20K bike, and a 7.5K run. And Amanda will have to answer the distance for hers.
Yeah.
The try was 500 meter swim, 10K bike, and 2.5 kilometer run.
okay.
Yeah.
I think our bike was 30K.
Yeah, I think the bike was 30.
Yes, it was 30K. You're right.
So you guys did the Olympic sprint. You guys did the Olympic distance, not the sprint.
It was almost Olympic.
Yeah.
Yeah. This race is a little bit different. I think for the distances, like typically the sprint distances are a designated distance, and then the Olympic, whereas this one I think was a little bit longer in each of the disciplines.
And then to make it even better, I think it was a few weeks before, they're like, oh, we've changed the swim course, so now it's longer. And I remember everyone sort of freaking out a little bit, but it's understandable for sure.
Yeah, we added 100 meters to it.
Yeah, which is not fun to add, right? Like that's a lot. That's an extra 4 laps of the pool back and forth, right? I don't really want to do that, but hey, you guys did it, and there was no complaint. I remember I was videotaping you guys at the very top as you guys were coming up, and you guys were just powering through, which is awesome. So that was really good.
I'm not sure that's what was really happening with
No, Brittany swore. Brittany swore. I have it on video, but it was awesome. But hey, that's still powering through verbally and physically. So no, it was really, really good. So my question is, obviously I want to eventually get to, what's next for you guys. So I'll plant that seed right now. But I think that there needs to be an inherent want to push yourself to be able to jump towards something like this and commit to it. And it's not for everyone, right? Like there's a lot of people who go through their bariatric surgery, very happy with what they're doing. They're getting great results, and they're just, that physicality is never something that they really want to push for in that sense. I guess my question for you guys is how much was that drive to compete physically and to push yourself important when committing to something like the triathlon? Or was it just a matter of, if I know I commit, then I have no reason to back out type thing? So was it sort of like that mind game of, yeah, now I'm going to do something that's going to keep me active?
Yeah, for me, as soon as I committed, I was committed and had a vested interest in trying to do my best in the race. I definitely think we had a group, like a private message group, and I think that was kind of my saving grace too. When I had my doubts about, the swim, or even I knew that the course was going to be hilly, and I have no hills in my area here, so that was a big concern for me. Having questions about, do you wear a sports bra under your tri suit, like all of those kind of things, like having that group was amazing to, share what my training was, ask lots of questions. But I think definitely once I committed, I was definitely in. And then the drive kept on getting motivated because I would get the feedback from everybody else in the group and hear about what they were doing. And so, yeah, definitely very motivating having shared it with these lovely ladies.
How about you, Amanda?
Yeah, it was definitely something to strive for, to give me a different, I guess, a different way to work out, because I was really just working on some weight stuff and, trying to get into running, but it gave me goals to strive for.
Yeah.
And I think after I did the try, you guys were all amazing in coaching me, because I was really apprehensive. It was nothing I'd ever considered doing. And Rob, you were like such a great coach, because you had done it before and given us all pointers. And I think I did the try, and I think it was the Monday or the Tuesday that I signed up for the Barrie Triathlon right after. I was like, okay, I did the try. That was easy. I don't feel sore at all. I'm going to sign up for a bigger one, because I should, I think I couldn't have done a bigger one at that time because I was struggling with a knee injury, and I literally went through the finish line and then stopped and then couldn't walk. So
I remember trying to gather you for a picture, and you were hobbling. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't run at all for the whole month of July. So, or sorry, the rest of June and most of July. So, I had to really let my leg heal, but I'm already looking for the next one and hoping I can get another one or two in before snow flies. So,
wow, that's awesome. How about you, Brittany?
For me, obviously it was my idea, so I would never want to disappoint anybody. So I definitely had a lot of things to learn. I didn't really bike ride before either, so I had to learn that as well. And then I felt kind of torn in my training, though. Usually I run and I CrossFit, and those are my two things that I enjoy a lot. So I felt very torn is the only way I could say it, is that I had to separate my life so much to fit in all the different training for the different disciplines. But I think that overall I was committed and I did it, and I'm super proud that I did it.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome, for sure. And I can definitely relate to the being torn, right? There are 3 disciplines that you need to train. And if for us who are not as comfortable with swimming, that's a big investment, especially if you're going to put more time towards that. And then to train running and bike and still do the other things that you want to do. And that's sort of, we'll talk about this after, but that's sort of what's leading me towards next year and what I want to do in regards to triathlons, but we'll get to that later. Candis.
Yeah, so I don't know, when I commit to something, I kind of get a bit of a tunnel vision focus type of thing, and being part of a group that had committed to it, you really don't want to back out. You don't want to let anybody down. My husband was so super proud of me, and he was in the days where I was just exhausted, or I'm I can't do it today. I can't work out today or whatever. And he'd be no one in our family on either side ever has done anything like this.
Yeah.
you know. And he's like, this is a big deal. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, so yeah, so it was just a lot of that was very helpful and very motivating. And like I said, like being part of this bariatric group and all of us doing it together was really, you know, made it a lot easier to stay committed to it, for sure.
And being on the sidelines there with a lot of your family and friends, oh my God, everyone was so proud of you guys. Everyone, it was amazing to see, because when you're an athlete, you sort of see them very quickly as I'm running to transition and when I'm running out of transition and whatever. But being able to discuss with them and talk with them about everything and hear from them how much you guys have put into it, it was amazing to see it from this point of view as well. So it's really cool.
And Rob, I must say, I loved having you at my transition spots. It was just nice to lay eyes on someone that I knew, and just a cheer and a wave. And yeah, that was definitely reassuring. So yeah, Rob, we really appreciate that you were there. And I know that you would have wanted nothing more than to participate, but you being our cheerleader was absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was really cool to be there. It was my pleasure. Actually, it was awesome. So when we go do one with Murph, his wife will cheer.
Yeah, come on down to Michigan, and I'm not very far. Well, a couple hours. But you know, one thing I've noticed, you know, we've been talking about this for you know, almost 30 minutes now, and nobody's talked about like placing or like your times or anything like that. Is that something that goes through your mind when you're doing it, or what are you thinking? Are you just competing against yourself? Is there even any competition? Or are we just doing this for fun? Or what is motivating you? What are you thinking when you're running and swimming and biking, and you know, what's going through your head?
My literal only goal, because I had a knee injury, was to just make sure that I crossed the finish line. I was very angry with my swim. I had some unusual circumstances happen to me. So I was like behind where I wanted to be, but it is what it is. And I only lost the time that I kind of had a goal, and the 10 extra minutes swimming cost me the 10 extra minutes on my final time, which is fine.
Oh wow. So it's very specific. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Candis.
Yeah, I'm the same way actually as Brittany. I was a little, because I was so anxious going into the water, I side-stroked the whole swim because I just couldn't get my breathing under control properly. So my swim was long. As far as placing, I didn't really care. I wanted to cross strong when I finished.
Yeah.
And I did. And I wanted to, I had a time for myself. You know what I mean? And I didn't hit it because of my swim, but I hit it on my bike and I hit it on my run. So I was not disappointed because the run was hillier than I thought it was going to be. And the bike was hillier than I thought it was going to be. So
for sure.
Very happy to still hit those times. And I think for the swim part, I wasn't so much upset about it. Brittany has different reasons, very legitimate reasons for being upset. Because there's a couple things that happened to her in the swim. But for me, I wasn't mad about my swim, but I learned from it, you know, sort of what I need to do for next time. And one of them is get in the water more before. Like open water, not the pool.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
I definitely, I didn't have a goal. I was kind of like, if I don't die doing this, then that's going to be, you know, I'm going to be happy with that. A friend of mine from my aunt's horse farm, she's been doing these for years. So I remember in the swim, she passed me, like we were in the same age group and she was gone. But then when we were on the bike was a very hilly course. And I live in Bethany, which is in the Kawartha Lakes, we are literally surrounded by hills. So all of my bike training is hill training. So I remember you literally start out on a hill, going uphill, and people were getting off and walking. And I'm kind of like, what are they doing? So I made up all my time on the bike. And I remember passing Michelle, who was my friend from my aunt's horse farm, and laughing because she's done these for years, right? And I'm passing her. So I'm like, yes, right? So when I got to the run portion, she tells me after that she saw me just ahead of her the whole time. And she was like, I'm never going to get ahead of Amanda because we were doing the exact same pace. And then she heard me say, oh, can I pet your dog? And I ran off the course and I pet someone's dog. And I totally forgot that I even did that until my aunt told me about it like 2 weeks later. She's like, did you really stop and pet a dog in the middle of a race? And I'm like, oh, I totally did. I did. I saw a dog. I stopped and pet it, right? And like that is so typical of me. It's not even funny. But Michelle was like, yes. And she
Yeah.
beat me. And she beat me literally by like 30 seconds. So when I saw our finishing, like she finished 71st and I finished 72nd. And I was just like, wow, like she's been doing these for years and I
Yeah.
came right behind her, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, if you wanted to stop to pet the dog, you
Yeah.
would have been in 71st. I was
Well,
like,
you won and the dog won.
right?
So you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I wouldn't have been able to resist either.
Right?
Yeah.
How about
I'd
you,
have
Anne?
to stop.
Yeah, no specific goals or time I had in mind. I did have from my training, I kind of had a general idea of the timing I thought I would have. I definitely was slowed down. I felt strong in the swim actually, which was surprising to me. The bike I was slower in my pace on the bike because of these crazy hills. Like at one point I thought I was going to fall off my bike because I was going so slow. But on the way down, they were incredible.
Yeah.
Run 2, I was a slower pace than I normally do because it was a little bit of a hillier course. And one of the sections literally, I don't know about you ladies, but I walked it like it was a steep hill. And true to fashion for me, sometimes I have GI issues when I run, and so I did have a bathroom break on my run. So, but overall, I felt really good. I was really happy. I crossed the finish line feeling really strong. Same with these ladies. They all looked amazing crossing the finish line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. I think if I do a race where the terrain is similar to where I train, I might have more of a specific time I'd like to go for, but I was overall really happy with my experience at this try.
Nice. And you mentioned a good point, because I know that this was one of my concerns when I had my surgery, and it's GI issues post-op. If you're doing endurance training, and it's awesome that Brittany's done a lot of endurance training, so she has everything sort of dialed into what works for her, and I think that's very much, it is so individualized, and it's hard because a lot of it has to come down to some trial and error. What do you guys do? What works? What didn't work? Because I know that's a question we get asked about a lot.
So for me, I've done lots of like half marathons now, and honestly, I still have not figured out the rhyme or reason to it. It literally, one race I'm good, another race I'm not. Same thing with it's just my longer distance running that I run into problems. If I did my 100K bike ride, no issues with that. I do feel like my stomach just doesn't like the jostling around. I know that I do have to eat really clean going into my long runs the days before. I have found like applesauce and apricots kind of are my go-to right now. I've never tried any of the gummies or anything like that, just because I'm really uncertain about how I feel like they would cause me some issues. Trying to sort out my fluids. Like I definitely I'm good with my hydration. It's just I've tried like scratch. I've tried a couple of different things and trying to figure out what's working for me. But yeah, I've been doing this for a year and a half now on my long distance runs and still haven't nailed it down yet.
Yeah. Brittany, what do you do?
For me, it's a balance of a lot of things. So like leading up to it, I eat very specific macros all week long. So I'm properly fueled going into it. And then during my races, typically applesauce and Lara bars are my go-to things that I tend to stick with. endurance running is a little bit different for me. It depends on the course, but yeah, essentially those are the two things that I like a lot. And they're really portable for your vest or whatever. So
Right. Amanda?
I haven't really struggled with the food portion. I typically have to work out fasted. So for the try, I know I got up super early. I had some protein oatmeal, and then kind of let that digest, and then didn't eat anything else again until about 2 hours after the event because I was just so full of adrenaline I couldn't stomach any food. This past weekend with the regular triathlon or the sprint try that I did, I experienced for the first time like that. Oh, my stomach is not doing well on this run.
Yeah.
And I ate I had my protein oatmeal closer, I think, than I didn't give myself the proper amount of time between digesting it, but I really do better fasting through any exercising or anything like that. So that just seems to work for me.
Yeah. Candice?
Yeah. I'm like Amanda. I do the protein oatmeal like a couple hours before. So I think I got up. I can't even remember what time we started, but a couple hours before I ate the protein oatmeal, and then about an hour before the race, I had a banana. And then I had BioSteel in my hydration pack, which I wore on the bike, and I had those. I think they're called Honey Stinger waffles.
Yeah.
Put 2 of those on my bike, and I probably ate about 1.5 of one, and I was drinking my my fluids. I did not drink enough fluid. And I took my hydration pack on the run with me, but because I didn't drink enough fluid, it was super heavy.
Yeah.
So when I got to the top of that first big hill, I took it off and I left it with the ladies at the drink station. I just
Good. And it was really hot that day too. It was super hot.
So I just took water from the drink stations as I was going by, and I was going to pick up the hydration pack on my second track around, but the lady said to me, she goes, "Just leave it." She goes, "I'll bring it down for you." So
Yeah.
she did. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah. So I probably let myself get a little too dehydrated. So I need to work on that a little bit. But
Yeah, I know that's something that I know I brought up in the group, and for me, when you look at the sequence of a triathlon, obviously when you're swimming, you're not going to eat, and so depending on the length of your triathlon, the bike should be really where you get a lot of your nutrition in, because really when you're fueling for the next period of time, right? So you're fueling during your bike ride, depending on how long your bike ride is, for your run, right? And so yeah, definitely I know I did bring up drinking while riding, and I know I don't remember who it was specifically, but someone was really, really concerned about drinking from their bottle while riding. Oh, is Amanda? Okay, is everyone then?
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone. Did you guys try that? I know, Candice, you had the pack, but did you guys try that on the day of? Because it's a question we get asked, or I get asked all the time.
I also wore my pack.
You did? Okay.
I can't do it. I can get my water bottle out, but then when I try to get it back in, I'm going to crash. So I don't even try.
Just throw it.
I just so I don't try. I'll drink before I get on my bike, and then I, drink after I'm done the bike. But during the bike ride, it just sits there.
Yeah.
So.
And did you?
I don't have issues with being able to pull out my water bottle. I get that it can be hard to coordinate for sure, but I think I had a scratch in my bottle that day, and I definitely my watch will kind of chime in at me every 5 kilometers, so typically about, I don't know what that is, about 15 maybe 20 minutes. So I was taking sips throughout my ride.
Nice. We have like 15 minutes left. I know we have a bit of a hard stop today at 10. I do have a couple more questions. Murph, do you have any questions you want to get into before I steal all the time?
No, go ahead, man. I'm listening. This is, again, I feel like I'm learning something new. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
It'll happen.
This is really cool. Thank you for being here. Rob, go ahead, steal the rest of the show.
All right. So, quick answers. Best part of the triathlon journey, not just necessarily the triathlon, but best part of the whole triathlon journey. Brittany, go ahead.
I would have to say that the coming together of all of you guys that join me for my birthday shenanigans that happens every year. Other than that, I think it was pretty cool learning how to swim, even though I don't appreciate the sport. And yeah, I just like the whole journey. It was a pretty fun time.
Yeah, Amanda.
I have to agree. I think, creating our group that we had and all of the questions and then getting to actually meet you all in person was really incredible, and trying new things, and it's pretty fun.
Candis.
I agree. The camaraderie with everyone is just fantastic. But also for me too was just that crossing the finish line was such a big deal. I didn't even realize how big of a deal it was until I did it. And then I just bawled because I was like so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many feelings. Like it's like disbelief and pride and just everything, and relief because it's done.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that was pretty awesome.
Awesome. Anne.
Yeah, absolutely 100%. It's just having created the group, being connected throughout that whole process, getting together the night before, having dinner, doing the race together, meeting up at the end of it, cheering, like seeing each other cross the finish line. Like, honestly, it warms my heart. It was that was the best part, but it definitely opened up more things for me. Like the biking, without the I would have never picked up, a bike. And now I absolutely love biking. And then the swimming again, I don't love it, but I'm glad it forced me to, actually join the Y and, be part of my community that way and get in a pool and experience different things. Still torn. I don't know. I still want to throw in a couple, maybe more tries, but I think definitely if I think into the future more, I'm probably more a duathlon, will focus my efforts on bike and run, but still want to throw in some more tries, I think.
Okay, we're going to get to that really quickly. Lightning round continues. Worst part of the triathlon journey, Amanda.
Probably the swimming, even though I was a strong swimmer in high school, and I was a competitive swimmer. It's been a little bit of time since high school. And I definitely didn't focus as much. I was cocky going into the swim because I was a swimmer in high school, right? Yeah. So I definitely need and still need, because I didn't train at all from the try to this triathlon. I didn't get in the water at all.
Wow.
So then I had a panic attack in the water and really was like, I'm going to drown right now, and had to go on my back. And, so I'm like, okay, next triathlon, I have to actually get in the water. So, yeah.
And worst part.
I had a really frustrating experience at my transition where I found my shoes tied in knots. And so that was just that was it. But my experience in the swim, actually, I was really proud of my swim. The bike was tough but good. The run was tough but good.
Yeah. Brittany.
For me, for the overall experience, I wouldn't say the worst part was learning to swim, but obviously that was the toughest part for me. The other worst part is the tri-suit.
That's legit though. That's a legit concern for a lot of people. So for sure.
I mean, it's like the most flattering attire ever.
Yeah. So my least favorite thing about the tri-suit is when I put it on, like this area right here, like everything sort of just bulges out, and I'm like, oh god. Because originally I was like, no, I want like the tank top one, because it's going to be hot. I don't want the full sleeve one, whatever. And then I put it on, I'm like, oh shit. Bad
For me,
decision.
it's the whole you have to get naked in a porta potty. It's not
Oh,
not a great experience.
yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that could be it for sure. Candice.
I would say the worst part was some stuff that I really love to do kind of fell by the wayside a little bit
Yep.
when I was training.
Yep.
Like pickleball for one thing.
Yep.
I was only getting out once in a while for pickleball. And I have a great group of friends there too. So,
Yeah.
that kind of fell by the wayside, and the weight training kind of fell off a little bit too. Not completely, but I did have to cut back on it. I just energy wise, I just didn't have it in me to do everything.
Yeah.
So that was probably the worst part.
Yeah.
I would agree
That-
with that.
100%.
Yeah,
And
me
this
too.
is what brings me to my next thing, whatever. So there were a ton of people who asked after we had posted in our bariatric fitness group, as well as the Ontario bariatric surgery group. A lot of people asked about it and asked to be included next year and involved. And it was great to see because, realistically sharing your story, what we do here on the waiting table, what we do through Instagram or whatever the case might be, and what you guys do continuously in all the different groups. Sure, it's sharing your story. Sure, it's accountability, but it's also giving hope to people who are not sure on what that picture looks like post-op, right? And so it's great that people want to do it with us next year, because my concern was exactly the same as what yours was, Candis and Brittany, in terms of training 3 disciplines. I play pickleball 4 to 5 days a week. I weight train 3 to 4 days a week. I don't have time to fit everything in. So my proposition to you guys, or to anyone else in that group, if people want, because I noticed that at the TriMuskoka they were doing a relay.
Mm-hmm.
If 2 other people want to join and do a relay, I will do the least favorite discipline, which I'm pretty sure is going to be swimming, but I am fine with doing whatever. So I'm just going to put that out there. If
No,
anyone
Rob,
wants to do it,
you need to do the bike. You need to do
I know
that
I
bike.
do. I know I do. But you know what? Honestly, as jealous as I was watching you guys leave and do the bike, when you guys were doing the swim, I was like, oh my God, I really want to do this. I don't know if it's because it was swimming along the river. I don't know if it's because seeing you guys swimming by all the docks and all the cottages or whatever the case might be. I thought it was so cool doing that swim. So I will do whatever you guys don't want to do. I am down if there are 2 people who want to do it. So just putting that out there.
I'd do it.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's fast.
I'd
Now
do it.
I'm
I'll do it
committed.
if you can do half of my biking and all of the swimming, and then half of the running, and then I'll meet you at the finish line.
Done. I will.
I'll do the
Tag me
second
in.
half of the running. Okay, yeah.
Tag
we'll
me
tag
in.
team.
We'll tag in at the dog. You stop to pet the dog. Tag
Stop
me
to
in,
pet the dog,
and I will
and
continue.
then I'll pet the dog
Yes,
too, and then I'll finish.
for sure.
And be
Love
like,
it.
Look what I did. Yeah.
Awesome. 5 minutes left. I'm going to leave it for you guys and Candice, Brittany, Amanda. If you guys can share, this is your question, Murph. This is your go-to question. Go for it. You just muted yourself after unmuting yourself. We're very technically
I hit it twice. My
powerful
bad.
on this podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. So yeah, non-skill victories. Is that what you were thinking, Rob?
Yeah.
Non-skill victories.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is? Yeah, it's something I like to ask at the end of most shows. Is and this could be the non-skill victory for you. If not, what is the thing that in your journey has stuck out to you the most as your biggest non-skill victory thus far?
And I'm going to add to that, on top of Murph's question, if you can leave one piece of advice to anyone listening, anyone who watches this show, anyone who listens on Spotify, if you're to leave one piece of advice for anyone who's even considering or curious about doing something like this, whether it's biking, swimming, triathlons, whatever, what would you leave them? So I'll start with Brittany.
So I'm not really sure. Like, I've had a lot of NSVs over 10 years, obviously. Um, I think that my endurance racing is obviously my proudest moment because there's not many people I know that can endure such
Nope.
a a feat. It takes a lot of grit to stay out there for 12 hours running in circles, and participated last year in the battle of running in circles. Um, it was literally a 4 kilometer loop of 12 hours. Well, I guess it was like 8 hours and like
And
nine-ish hours. Yeah.
it was
It was
so
a
hot today.
Yeah, it was a half solstice race, so it was a half of a day running, essentially.
Yeah.
So I think that that's my proudest thing. As far as what I would give advice for other people is to just try everything. Just give it a try. You don't like I wasn't athletic at all going into this. I started out by running because I knew how to do that, but then I've over the years tried every single thing I can get my hands on, and
Yeah.
some of it I like a lot and some of it I hated, and you don't know unless you try it.
For sure.
So ultimately, that's my advice is to to give it a try, and to also meet as many bariatric people as you can, because I've met a lot, and I think it's pretty cool to meet up with other people on their journey.
Oh, definitely. Awesome. Thank you so much. Amanda.
Um, I think the non-scale victories for me are things to do with my son, right? Just having a lot more energy. The day my son realized that he could actually put his arms around me when he hugged me was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So there's been a lot of those, but then just even like doing a triathlon, right? Like I remember crossing the finish line and saying to you, Rob, like right after being like, this is like I just had my 1 year anniversary days
Yep.
before, and I'm down 120 pounds, and I just did a freaking triathlon. Like, and I've had so many of those moments where I'm just like, we were in Tobermory and I was climbing cliffs and mountains and in caves, and I'm going down and I'm like, I couldn't have done this 120 pounds ago, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many of those moments, and you know, try. I'm
Yeah.
an advocate, right? I think we've got our group wanting to do it next year, and I've got my 65-year-old aunt wants to do the try at the
Oh.
Muskokas, and my 15-year-old niece, and like I'm just like, try it. That's why they have tries, right? So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Candis.
Okay, so I think my biggest NSV from all of this, and it's actually been, I guess it's been building over time, but it's really kind of culminated recently, and that is that I actually have confidence now in my
Yes.
ability. Like it has nothing to do with the way I look. It has nothing to do with my pant size. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that I know that I can push myself out of my comfort zone, like I did with this triathlon, like I've done with other things recently, like with hiking in the mountains and that kind of stuff, while we
Yeah.
were on holidays. And it's changed me. Like when I played pickleball before, I would be hesitant and I wouldn't necessarily reach for that shot, or like I might just let it go by, you know what I mean? Now I'm on it and I don't think twice about it. And I've never had that my entire life growing up. I was always that self-conscious kid, never put myself out there because I was afraid of looking stupid or making a mistake or falling or something like that. And I think this triathlon really just made me realize that I can do things.
Yeah.
And yeah, like if you want to give, so my advice to somebody was, if you want to give yourself that gift, push yourself a little bit harder than you think you're capable of, because you actually are capable of it.
Oh, that's awesome. See, more pressure on you, Anne, to have a really, really good answer. Oh my God. Thanks, Candis.
I was
Right?
just thinking that. I'm like, how do I top that? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I totally resonate with what everybody's saying, but especially that, Candice. I'm like, oh yeah, that is totally true. That, I was thinking my non-scale victory was going to be, and it truly is like my energy and my, commitment and my involvement with my family is so much greater now than it was when I was overweight and tired and exhausted and sleeping on the couch all the time. But you're right. Like my thoughts were always consumed by my weight and my appearance. And that is gone now. Obviously I still have my hiccups or whatever, but so I have so much more mental capacity for so many other things. And I think that is huge. And I think I'm better, not only in my family, but with my work and with my friends and my time, because I'm not, my thoughts are not consumed, and I am I'm more comfortable in my body. And so yes, Candis, thank you for kind of refreshing my memory about that. That's one of my non-scale victories for sure. And yeah, absolutely. I think my advice is much like the same. Don't sell yourself short. You are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. Just try it. And again, you may not like it. Try something else. And you don't have to do these great big feats or, it just find something you enjoy.
Yeah. Awesome.
And don't expect to be perfect at it the first time
that's
you do
a good
it,
one,
the first
for
couple
sure.
of times, right? Because I think we set ourselves up thinking we're going to be able to, be the best at something, but our certain disciplines do take time to perfect.
Yeah. This has been amazing. For me personally, this has been amazing. From the time that we started talking about this, I think I mentioned it in our group, or the waiting table group, that I want to have these girls on a podcast. I actually wanted to have it live in Muskoka, but I knew that there's a lot of prep work going on. It was going to be hard, but it was always me imagining having you guys here, not just to share your stories and your experience, but to celebrate everything that you guys have accomplished. So congratulations. Thanks so much for sharing your stories and your experience with all of us. That's unfortunately all the time that we've got for tonight. And this is actually going to be our last show for the remainder of August. We're taking the next couple weeks off to enjoy the rest of the summer, because it's been go. But September is going to be back with full force, or in full force. I think we're going to be doing every Wednesday starting in September, which is going to be awesome. And it's going to actually be a very big build-up to the JBY Awards at the end of September, which we are, of course, graciously nominated for collectively 7 awards, and for the waiting table, including best live series as well as best podcast. So we are so thankful for that. But we have amazing guests coming up who have a lot to share with the bariatric community, just like our guests did tonight. Shay, you missed a very, very good one. Sucks to be you. But again, thank you guys. And thank you, all of you guys, for joining us on the Waiting Table podcast, where we're serving the weight loss community
1 pound at a time.
All right, guys. Thank you so
ladies.
much.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here. Congrats to all of you.
Next year, we're going to do it again after we do the next triathlon at Brittany's birthday. Brittany doesn't want to do another triathlon.
I'll duo.
Okay. I'd consider that.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
See you guys.